Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here this morning. I know you all are too. I'd like to welcome all of you who are here on our live Zoom service. It's always wonderful to see your faces and hear all of you and be able to chat with you. If you're viewing our service on YouTube later, we welcome you also. It's such a pleasure having this wonderful technology available to us that we can still meet and be here with one another and be supportive of everyone. If you are visiting us on YouTube, if you would like an invitation to our live service, if you just send us a message, we'll get an invitation out. Be aware, please, that we are muting everyone for our service. It's what we do so that we don't get distracted by changing screens. I am Alice Robertson, and I serve as Vice President of our Board of Directors, and I'm also on our Pastoral Committee. With me today with our sermon will be Siobhan Carlson from Wisconsin. Our meditation medium today will be Louise Barkdahl, who does wonderful meditations for us. And Lynn Collier is our Zoom host. And I will be our video editor later in the week. Let us open with our invocation and join me in prayer. Infinite intelligence, as we join you today in our own sacred space, we know you are always with us and within us. We are grateful for the comfort and peace you bring to us with communication from our loved ones and the knowledge and understanding of our natural laws to guide us in every step we take. We are grateful for the inspiration you bring to us today and in all our days, and we give thanks for all of the blessings you have been giving, you bring to us. May we continue to be inspired throughout this journey of life as we walk with you in joy, knowing we are never alone. Amen. I have to thank Jen for that invocation that she wrote a while back. And I always appreciate Jen and her writings. They're quite wonderful. Spiritualist Desert Church is a chartered member of the National Spiritualist Association of Churches, headquartered in Lilydale, New York. The NSAC manual provides us with the definitions of spiritualism and being a spiritualist. And now I would like to share with you those definitions. Spiritualism is the science, philosophy, and religion of continuous life based upon the demonstrated fact of communication by means of mediumship with those who live in the spirit world. Spiritualism is a science because it investigates, analyzes, and classifies facts and manifestations demonstrated from the spirit side of life. Spiritualism is a philosophy because it studies the laws of nature, both on the seen and unseen sides of life, and bases its conclusions upon present observed facts. It accepts statements of observed facts of past ages and conclusions drawn therefrom when sustained by reason and by results of observed facts of the present day. Spiritualism is a religion because it strives to understand and to comply with the physical, mental, and spiritual laws of nature, which are the laws of God. A spiritualist is one who believes, as a basis of his or her religion, in the communication between this and the spirit world by means of mediumship, and who endeavors to mold his or her character and conduct in accordance with the highest teachings derived from such communication. As a spiritualist, we have no dogmas or creeds, but we do have 9 principles that we strive to live by. If you will now join me in declaring our principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. I love our principles. It's such a great way to live. So now it is my great pleasure to welcome our speaker today. This is Siobhan Carlson. Siobhan has been a spiritualist for many years. She currently serves and is the vice president of the board of directors of the First Spiritualist Church of West Allis, and that is in Wisconsin. She is a national spiritualist teacher, a certified medium, and a commissioned healer with the National Spiritualist Association of Churches. She is the president of the Licentiate Minister and Certified Mediums Club within the NSAC. She teaches various classes on the history of spiritualism, healing, and mediumship. And she is passionate about spiritualism and loves to share her enthusiasm about the religion. I have had the pleasure of working with Siobhan on the long-range planning committee, and she is just a joy to work with. And now let me turn the service over to Siobhan Carlson.
Okay, that's me. So hello, I'm Siobhan, for those who might not know. So today's talk that I wanted to share with you came from a meme I saw. A meme is a little box on Facebook where people put words in it of people. And I thought that really inspired me. So I'm just going to read you what it said. My grandmother was in line to be shot into a pit. She said, "What happens if I step out of line?" The patrolman said, "I don't have the heart to shoot you, but somebody will." As she stepped out of line. And for that, I am here, and my children are here. So step out of line. Ladies, step out of line. Alex Bernstein. Which also leads to another story that my grandmother told me before she transitioned. The first time she spoke up for herself, the first time she took on a government official, she was 19 or 20. I think she was 20. She had just had my mother. She lived in New York. My grandfather was away, so she was alone. And she was living in one of those housings for new mothers when their husbands were away at war or just not home. And the place, they promised that they were going to take care of the place. It would be in great condition. It would be great to for it's safe for you and your baby. And it wasn't. It was like a box room, and she had a baby. My mom was sleeping in a drawer, that you pull out from the dresser. So she wrote a letter to the President of the United States. And then she said one day she hears a knock at the door, and there's these men, there's like 3 or 4 men in suits standing at the door, and they asked, as she opens the door, she goes, yeah. And she's like, are you so-and-so who wrote this letter? And she said, yes. She's like, they're like, we're here to investigate. And so they looked around her little room. They looked around the building, the property. She went over what she was promised and what all of the other women that were also in the same situation were promised. She said she was never so scared in her life to have to do that. And ever since then, she has always spoken up when she felt something was wrong or it wasn't just. And she didn't just stop at the low man on the totem pole. She would go directly to the President of the United States. I love my grandmother, but that was an incredible story. What both of these stories have in common are these women, and this is not exclusive to women, so this is no shade on our male counterparts. But what both of these stories got in common are these people who dug deep inside of themselves, who were scared, who were in situations that could have resulted in harm brought not only to themselves but to their family. The grandmother in line had the great grandmother in line had her daughter with her. My grandmother had her daughter with her. These were young babies. And they had to make a decision if they go along with the circumstances that were presented to them, or do they speak up? Do they take an action that goes against what they're told that they should accept because they believe that they deserved better and their children and their family deserve better? Or at the very minimum, the promise of being a human being on this planet needs to be kept. And how scared they were. And they did it anyway. And I think all of us have a point in our life where we have sat down and we're like, I know that's not right, but I'm not going to say nothing. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to be ostracized. I don't want to be left out, but I know it's wrong. I know deep down in a place that I want to talk about that this is not right. And what these women taught me, and what I learned from their story, is to do it anyway. You'll get used to that initial gut reaction to not, but the outcome is far more beautiful and far more life affirming and far more in line with our spiritualist beings than not. One of the things I like to bring the attention to that helps me when I get in these situations of how to respond or react is Principle 7. We make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. And I like to add in the word as we choose to obey or choose to disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. These two women showed me what obeying nature's physical and spiritual laws mean. By listening to their spark, by believing in themselves, by knowing that they matter, that they are valued, that their voices matter, and that by using them can bring about change and love, not just in the smaller micro level, but also on the macro level. That man said to that woman, I don't have the heart to shoot you, because he had his divine spark spoke up. But somebody will. But the somebody never showed up. And she's still here, and she didn't get in that pit. My grandmother could have stayed in those unhealthy conditions where my mother could have ended up getting all kinds of illnesses and sicknesses, and being a newborn may not have gotten the care and the services she needed to stay healthy. But my grandmother spoke up. And it not only changed the situation for my grandmother, it changed the situation for the entire women in that entire apartment complex. They came in and they fixed it all. They got rid of the mold. They made the apartments more safe. They put in the playground that they promised these women that they would have. They created green space for them. They also helped them with bringing in different social people in terms of food and housing help and assistance that they need, and social services, because they're alone and their husbands are at war, serving. And she, by, even though she was scared, but she, by speaking up, motivated them to come and do their part. Because that's the other thing about spiritualism, right? It is not just that we believe that we continue after the change called death, because we all know we do. It's not even a belief, it's a knowing. But we are also personally responsible for ourselves and our actions. And we choose to do our part. And when we choose to do our part doesn't mean some huge balloons, or you got to go out and be on media and be seen by 60,000 people. Your part could be just as small as smiling at someone who is sad. Your part could be just as small, as great as the person who cleans the building with such love and care, so that when the people who come in and are in that space feel safe, feel like they're not going to get sick, feel like somebody took the time to make sure that their surroundings is well kept. Our part is every single way, and every single day, and every single moment, and every single decision that we make that helps to make our and those around us lives just a little bit easier. And remembering that not only are we a member of the divine, that they are also a part of the divine. And sometimes our part is saying the hard things. Sometimes our part is facing a conflict and saying that's not peace building. That's not life affirming. We are not going to support that, or I'm choosing to not support that. Sometimes our part is hard. Sometimes our part hurts. And sometimes our part could feel like, oh, I can't do it right now. But as we all know, we continue, right? We have the luxury of, we have the beauty and the knowledge of knowing that we can continue to grow and expand forever and ever, amen? And part of the other reason why you want to do your part, right, is because we're with ourselves forever and ever, amen? Right? So I think sometimes we forget that, when we transition, the essence of who we are comes with us. We lose our physical bodies, we might lose our home and the house and the dog, or unless you're going to create one over there, but who we are never goes away. How you loved will always be your memory. How you cared will always be in your essence. How you embraced will always be a part of who you are. So bringing it back to principle 7. How will you choose to do your part and to obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws? I, of course, know that just by your all's presence here at a Spiritualist church, with all of us beautiful spiritualist people, that you've already made that choice. But sometimes we might need a little reminder that choosing love, choosing peace, choosing to walk in your faith and in your truth is always the right choice. And with that, I leave you with love and blessings. Thank you for listening.
Oh, what an inspiring sermon for us this morning. Thank you so much, Siobhan. I want to read from our chat. Sue says, and it fits in so well, in honor of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, from a sign she had in her office over her desk, words which she lived by. I can't pronounce them, but I can say the meaning of them. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. And I think that fits in and is such a great tribute to our Justice, who I know will continue to work with and inspire us and the country from spirit. Again, thank you so much, Siobhan, for your wonderful, inspiring message to us this morning. We now go into the love offering portion of our service. Here, our contact information and our PayPal information. We continue to run Spiritualist Desert Church, even though our doors to our physical church are not open at this time. And we hope we serve you well here on our Zoom and YouTube. And again, we thank you all for being here and for supporting us. You can now support us via PayPal, or if you like the traditional check writing method, you can certainly send us a check also to help support us. We have some upcoming events. Oh, next week, I am going to be, I am going to deliver your sermon. It's, I just get nervous talking about it because, as most of you know, I don't generally do sermons, and this will be the first one in many years. And so I'm just nervous, but Spirit tells me to do it, so I will do it. Coming up in October, we have the pleasure of the Reverend Richard Scholler with us doing our sermon and address on October 25th. He will follow our service with a mediumship class, and he will be available the week before for private readings. He will also be doing 2 demonstrations of mediumship and a demonstration of trance mediumship, and we will have his schedule out to you this coming week and a message to us via our email. Also, the NSAC, since convention is not being held, will be holding both classes and a religious service every day that convention would have been, and we will have that schedule for you also. And you can always look at the calendar on our website for that information. If you have need of us as a board, as a church, you can always, again, email us, and your board is here for you. We've never left. We're never going to leave, it appears. And so if you need anything from us at all, please let us know, and we're here to help you in any way we can. this is being recorded. The service is being recorded for YouTube, and it will be up later on this week. And let's see what else. I think that's all of our announcements for now. So now we're going to move into the healing portion of our service. Our meditation medium today, we're pleased to welcome Louise Barkdal. Louise is the secretary on our church board, and she is co-chairman of our pastoral committee. She's been doing some incredible meditations and have been so very enjoyable. And so I want you all to welcome Louise, but first, I would ask that you join us in our prayer for spiritualist healing. And please join me in this prayer. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. Amen. And now, please welcome Louise Barkdal.
Good morning, everyone, or good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I would like to thank all those that are here right now with us on Zoom, and also all of our friends and family in spirit that are always with us, always supporting us. We're going to take just a few minutes now. We're going to have a lovely meditation, and there's nothing else that we need to be doing right now. There's nothing else that we need to focus on right now, except to tap into that healing for ourselves, to regenerate ourselves, because when we are whole and healthy, we are more able to help others to also be whole and healthy. So we're going to start, just get into a nice seated, comfortable position, feet on the floor if possible, and we're going to start with just a few breaths. Just focusing on our breathing. And as we breathe in to the count of 3, and then hold to the count of 3, and then exhale to the count of 3. So let's do that 3 times, and just focusing on our breath. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3. Holding, 1, 2, 3, and exhaling, 1, 2, 3. And with those beautiful breaths, we are able to release ourselves from the physicality of the day. We are able to let our inner selves, our conscious inner selves, our spirit, we are allowed to remove the shackles of this physical life for a few minutes. We're able to walk away from dis-ease and walk away from the weight of negativity and all the responsibilities that this physical world puts on us. We are released and we are free. With that freedom, you are able to go to your safe place, your happy place. And because we are using our spirit form, We are not restrained. Our bodies are no longer restrained. We're able to move and stretch and be able to do anything and everything because we are no longer limited by our physical body. So go to that happy place. Look around you, whatever your setting is. For some people, it's a forest. For some people, it's a beach. For some people, it's sitting on a cloud. Wherever your safe, happy place is, enjoy being there. As you look around, invite some of your family and friends from spirit in. Enjoy that communing with them. That love is always there for them and for you. They're always there, loving us, supporting us, and healing us. A lot of them are healers. And a lot of them, we know, just sending love is healing. So exchange that love and that healing with those that you have visiting with you. Inhale it in. Feel it come in through the pores of your body. Feel it run throughout your system, energizing you, charging you, renewing you, giving you strength. Strength that you will be able to bring back to the physical world, which it is time to return to. Slowly and gently return to your physical body. Settling back in with your physicality. Moving your toes, wiggling your fingers, getting fully realigned with this physical world again. Again, bringing back that strength, that recharging. Bring it back with you, along with that love of your friends and relatives. Ready to face another week, fully charged for it. Please have a blessed week. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much, Louise. Once again, another beautiful meditation. And we really appreciate you doing these wonderful meditations for us every week, or almost every week anyway. Thank you so much. We continue to maintain our healing list, and we do send absent healing to everyone on our healing list every day. You may add yourself or anyone else or others. Please ask them to our healing list by sending a request to our email address. We welcome your pets too, because of course they are family members. So now we move into the message portion of our service. Today, our message medium is Siobhan Carlson, and we're so happy to welcome her back here. We want to remind you that by definition, A medium is one whose organism is sensitive to vibrations from the spirit world and through whose instrumentality intelligence in that world are able to convey messages and produce the phenomena of mediumship, of spiritualism. Also note that a medium proves the continuity of life. Please understand that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. A psychic reads your energy or your aura, while a medium will bring through someone who has lived on the earth plane. It's also important to know that a medium is not a medical doctor and therefore cannot diagnose or prescribe. It's time now to unfortunately close our service. Thank you all for being here today, and let's remember all of those who are in service for us, keeping us safe and healthy, and all of those essential workers, all of those who are cleaning for us, and all of those who are here raising our spirits, and of course, Spirit who is with us now and always. I would like to also close the service with a benediction from Siobhan.
Actually reading our benediction from our lovely NSAC manual. I fell in love with it, so I've been using it a lot lately. May the understanding of our minds, the meditation of our hearts, and the obedience of our will to the still small voice within lead us to live spiritualism, science, philosophy, and religion. Bless us now as we go our separate ways and until we meet again. Amen.
Thank you so much, Siobhan, for that lovely blessing. Thank you all for being here.